guys, it's Cece, and today I am here to do an HP Chat. HP Chats is a video series that I do here on my channel all about Harry Potter and, things involving Harry Potter, the Harry Potter world, discussions about it. That's what HP Chats is. Today I'm doing a requested video. I am going to be talking about some ships. That's relationships, in case you're not down with the internet lingo. So I asked on Twitter, and you guys should follow me on Twitter if you're not already, at @CCUing_. It's right there. But I asked on Twitter what ships you would want me to discuss, and you gave me a very long list. So we're going to start with canon ships, and then we're going to move on to non-canon ships. Let's get going. So canon ships first. A couple of these you guys didn't request, but I feel like it would be weird if I didn't talk about them. So first of all, Harry and Ginny. I wanted to say that I do really like this relationship. I like Harry and Ginny together. I think it's cute and I think it makes sense. They're both jocks, in all honesty. Like, if we look at the world of Hogwarts, they're both the jocks of Hogwarts. I think Ginny both understands Harry and also doesn't let him get away with stuff the way some other characters do. Like that whole scene where she's all sarcastic because she's telling him, oh, no one else could ever understand what it's like to have Voldemort controlling you. But I do also think that it's a relationship that makes sense for Harry. I think that they balance each other really nicely, so before I talk about all of the non-canon ships for these two people, I did want to say that I do actually really like this pairing. No one asked me to talk about Ron and Hermione, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Ron and Hermione is also a relationship that I really, really like. And honestly, it's one of my favorite relationships in fiction, especially in books. And I think it's because Ron and Hermione balance each other out so well. I think if you've only watched the movies, I can see why you might not like Ron and Hermione, since they absolutely destroy both of their characters, but in particular Ron. But in the books, I just think that they're well written and they come together at the end, and I'm so happy. I also appreciate it because it's a slow burn. Like, it took a long time for those two to get together, and I'm nothing if not a sucker for a slow burn, especially if it's like friends to lovers, which they are. I love it. Also, Neville and Hannah Abbott. So, this is canon only in the books, not in the movies, and that's the reason I want to talk about it. And it's because this is the only ship I enjoy that has Neville as a part of it. Neville is my favorite character, and so I have very specific feelings about who he should end up with, and I was really frustrated by the movies changing it to be Luna. Not that I don't like Luna, it's just that I don't like Neville and Luna together at all. My biggest problem with the epilogue is that it shoved all of these people together who had just been bros in, high school, and I love that in the books, Neville married someone who wasn't in their core friend group. It just makes more sense. Plus, she's a Hufflepuff, and I'm really happy that Neville married a Hufflepuff. I hope they're happy together. I'm sure they are. I have no doubts that they're very happy together. Someone asked me to talk about Fleur and Bill, which is a ship I don't think about very often, but one that I really like. I think it's frustrating that Fleur had to fight against, Molly's internalized misogyny to earn her place in the Weasley home, but I like that she did, and I'm glad for where she came out on the other side of it. Her and Bill love each other so much. She becomes this character more and more throughout the series that you realize you only saw a small part of her in book 4, and there's so much more to her than that. She's loving and fierce, and she just is fantastic, and I think that she and Bill suit each other so well. And her wedding dress in the movies is gorgeous. And the last canon ship I'm going to talk about is Tonks and Remus. So, I don't really like this relationship very much at all. I don't think it makes a whole ton of sense for either of their characters. In my personal opinion, Tonks falling in love with Remus is a total retcon of her personality. She goes from this wonderful spitfire of a person to all of a sudden being weird and mopey and not talking to anyone until a man fulfills her needs. Tonks in book 6 is not Tonks in book 5, and I don't think that there was enough shown to bridge those two people together. It just feels like she became a different person so that we could force Remus into a relationship that had the facade of looking heterosexual. So yeah, I really don't like Tonks and Remus at all. Those are the canon ships. Now let's talk about the not canon ones that you all wanted me to talk about. First of all, Ginny and Luna. I'm pretty sure this was one of the first tweets I received, and I'm so happy that I did because this is such a fave of mine. I headcanon Luna as like a pan-romantic ace. I feel like you can really project any sexuality or gender identity on Luna, but that's how I personally see her. And I just think her and Ginny makes a lot of sense, and it's so cute. Especially the fact that Ginny is so overprotective of Luna throughout the series. She cares about her so much, and they could be the greatest girlfriends. Like athlete girlfriend and nature photography girlfriend. I just want Ginny and Luna to be happy together forever. That's really what I'm getting at. The next one that someone requested I talk about is Harry and Cedric, which is actually a ship I've never heard of before, and that's a little weird for me. So, I guess I could get behind this? Maybe? Maybe? They are kind of flirty in book 3, but I mean, Harry just has the tendency to have that tension with people, really. I don't know. I'm not passionate about this one, but I don't hate it either. I think it has elements of being sweet. And also heartbreaking, honestly. This is heartbreaking. I don't know why I wasn't thinking through to the end of how this would go, but this is very, very sad. Can you imagine a book 5 in which Harry and Cho are like leaning on each other to relieve grief because they both loved Cedric? That's... Next up we have Neville and Luna. I think I've covered my feelings on this one. I just don't like Neville and Luna together. I think that they make really, really good friends, but I don't like pushing it into that romantic zone with them. I don't think that they complement each other all that well. I don't feel like Neville really understands Luna enough. And also, as much as I love Neville, like my favorite character Neville, I just don't see Luna as the kind of person to settle down with Neville. So yeah, I was really frustrated in the movies when they pushed this. I got real mad. Sitting in that midnight premiere for the final movie, I sat there and just went, oh, come on! Also requested was Neville and Ginny. I don't love this one either, but I see it more than Neville and Luna, I guess. Maybe it's just because Ginny has such a tendency to be protective of her friends, and also them going to the ball together in book 4 was so sweet. But I prefer to keep it as just being sweet. I like those really intense platonic relationships too, and I just think that Ginny goes for people who are more uber opinionated, I guess, than Neville is. Like, she's got the sass with Harry, or since I ship Ginny and Luna, I think that Luna has all of these really hard and fast ideas, and I think that Ginny would just be attracted to that kind of passion. And Neville has his passion with plants, but I just think he's the kind of person that's more of a friend figure to Ginny than as a romantic figure. Alright, let's talk about Wolfstar. I'm excited. I've wanted to talk about Wolfstar the entire time. This is my favorite ship of the Harry Potter series, and it will be with me to the day I die. I just think there's so much good defense for this relationship happening, in all honesty. Like, reading the series with these two in mind as a romantic couple, it just becomes more and more obvious that it's meant to be, and they love each other. They give joint gifts. The entirety of the reunion scene in Prisoner of Azkaban is so much. Both in book and in the movie, they each have their things where it's like, they love each other so much, and they're having a reunion after 12 years, and I'm so happy that they get to go and be boyfriends again. That scene in Order of the Phoenix where Harry calls the two of them and is like, it turns out my dad may have been an asshole, and the two of them just like sit there and reminisce, and they're such dads. They're such boyfriends. Personally, in my head, I headcanon Remus is bi and Sirius is gay, and they're in love forever and always, no matter what J.K. Rowling tries to say to me. Next up, we have Draco and Ron. This is another ship I have never seen before. I don't know. I kind of like this one. I feel like this would be one of those relationships in a sitcom where they, like, angrily have sex and never talk about it, and it's driving them apart but driving them together, and like it can never see the light of day, and if it ever did, they would fall apart completely. So I don't hate it, I don't ship it, but I don't hate it. Ron and Crumb, on the other hand, no one asked me to talk about this, but Ron had an awakening when he met Victor Crumb. I mean, he was crushing so hard on Victor Crumb. Good heavens, good gracious. And like, I think Hermione and Crumb is super cute. I just think it's important to acknowledge that Ron was also definitely super into Crumb. There's also Ron and Luna. I'm sorry, I don't see this at all. I just think that Luna and Ron are two people who are so drastically different. They barely have scenes together, and when they do, Ron spends most of it staring at Luna in utter bafflement, and I can't see this one at all. I can't. Should we talk about Hermione? Probably. So, Draco and Hermione, pretty popular ship. This is another one where I don't hate it, but I don't ship it. Like, the thing is, the entire Golden Trio has this obsession with Draco that I think gives off a lot of, like, tension. I'm for anything in which Draco gets the redemption arc that he so very much deserves, and I think Draco and Hermione has this very Zuko Katara vibe that I can see for sure. But I think what holds me back from loving Draco and Hermione is another ship, and that is Drarry. So Draco and Harry. If you had told me 4 years ago I would be making a video about the fact that I love Drarry, I would have laughed at you, but here we are today. Things are different. I love Draco and Harry. There is so much tension there. They are so confused about their feelings. They don't know if it's hatred or attraction, and I love it. They're both so utterly obsessed with each other for 7 books. So deeply obsessed with each other. Always gotta know where the other one is, always thinking about what they're doing. I think they're both very confused and both clearly having crushes that they feel are ill-advised in their hearts. But if Draco just gets that redemption arc, then they could be in love. Even pre-redemption arc. You know, like that could be one of the things that leads him down the path of redemption. Them getting together. Just picture Harry starting to try to integrate Draco into that group of people. It's so magical. So yeah, I love Drarry. I think it's great. And that's probably why I have less passion for Hermione. Because Drarry is great. And the last ship that I'm going to talk about is Dean and Seamus. So this one, I honestly almost had a hard time even putting it in the non-canon list because I'm just so over thinking that they're not canon. I don't even know what extended canon says about who they really ended up with, but it doesn't matter because they married each other. Their reunion, when they hug and there's the big their reunion in the books kills me. They were definitely together the entire time, like through all of Hogwarts. Then they finished, they graduated, the war was over, they lived together for a while, and then they got married, and they adopted a couple of beautiful babies, and they're great dads, and they're in love together forever. The actor who plays Seamus agrees with me here. They're in love. Okay guys, there you go. Those are my feelings on a bunch of Harry Potter ships that you all wanted me to talk about. What do you think about some of the ships I talked about? Were there some that you hadn't heard of before? What did you think of those? What are your biggest ones, canon and not canon? Leave any and all of those thoughts down below. Plus, let me know what you would like to see in a future HP Chats video. And check out the HP Chats playlist so you can watch the other videos that I have done discussing Harry Potter. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!